I was asked a question about research to business. Is research business, or should research be business? Should science be business? And it's an interesting question because it has answer both yes and no. So let's elaborate on that. Our research background makes that we want to be curiosity driven and find out things and do research studies and publish. So that's our true nature, sort of. But then we also have the reality that we need to find funding in order to keep our activities alive and our research career alive or moving forward in a steady pace. And that's why we need to think about some practical things related to funding. And overall, we also need to think about how should our research be useful. And we have aims that our research will contribute to Sustainable Development Goals number 13 or number 9 or whatever. And this is what we state as a motivation when we apply for funding and discuss with people about our research usefulness and where it will lead to. And in practice, we have that we need to have funding for our research. And why I'm saying this is that in Sweden we have a particular situation that we are not paid by university a certain number of hours for teaching, and then you have whole year salary. We get our salaries from projects. So when we apply for funding, that is a way to support our existence. And sometimes we can have one course of teaching or 2 courses, and that's usually like 1 month salary. And in order to have a full year salary, we need to have like 10, 12 courses, and that's not really sustainable. And then we need to apply for funding in order to get projects. And this is similar in other countries where you have your salary, and then you apply for funding to have PhD students working on them and so on. So we still need to get money in. And that's why we need to motivate why this is so interesting. And our research is one of the topics which can be very useful for some things, Sustainable Development Goals and so on, in the long run. But then it always comes to the question, how will you go from the research to the usefulness? How will you contribute to Sustainable Development Goals? And even if we have a super nice technology which saves 5% or 10% on an energy in some way, whatever technology it is, then people will ask, how will this energy saving technology go to market? Who will pay for this? And in such way, we always need to think about the business related to research. The business is how can we sustain at the university, get funding in. If I apply for funding, then this is like an incubator. They are asking for overhead. You pay your own salary from your own projects. And if it's EU projects, then it's 25% overhead. And university applies like 48% overhead. Then they ask you, how will you cover this missing 23% in overhead? Some universities, they contribute with that because they think it's nice that you have EU project with 25% overhead. Other universities, they ask for this. So in all ways, we need to think about the funding for our existence, our projects, and at the end, how should this come to societal use? So then it becomes business in a sort of way, even though it's a curiosity-driven research with some good physics, science, and all those things. And then we have to think about these aspects. And this is a part of the reality of today. So I hope that you now start to think about how should your research become useful. And there are no recipes how to do this, but the only way to do this is to move forward by being active, interact with other people, and show yourself that you're existing with this research, having workshops and other events. Then you're visible, people will notice you, invite you to be part of projects, or contact you because they're interested in creating some collaboration. And in such way, we can actually be part of funding, but also this is a way to progress in our career.